All right, as you all know, things are starting to open back up, and we've gone back to 2 conventions this year, and we're already planning for a 3rd one in a couple of weeks. So I thought to myself, let's talk about some all-around tips that might help convention newcomers and or vets alike. Let's hit them streets. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka the man who has really missed the whole convention scene. I've been going to cons since back in 2003 with Big Apple Anime Fest, and my first time cosplaying was as Makoto Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin back in Otakon 2004. And the last one I attended was before things closed down back in 2019 Katsucon in February, right before the lockdown. So I've been attending conventions for the better part of 15 years, and I love them. I do. But I know firsthand, believe me, I know, that they can be overwhelming and honestly a little scary. So I compiled a list here of tips that I think will help you tackle your cons. All right, so we're gonna go through them one by one. I jotted them down. Tip number 1, and it might sound like a silly little tip, but honestly, pack your shit accordingly. What do I mean by that? Obviously, pack what you're gonna need. You're going to a con for 3 days, pack enough clothing for 5. Also, is your con in the middle of November right by the Hudson River like Anime NYC? You better bring a fucking sweater because it's gonna be cold. So make sure you got all your chargers that you need for your electronics. I am speaking from my own experience. I cannot stress that enough. I have left my own phone chargers at home and I've had to borrow friends. It sucks, but this is also very key. Are you going to be cosplaying? Because if you're going to be cosplaying, make sure you pack some, repair stuff, bobby pins, spirit gum, thread and needle, makeup, whatever the hell you might need to help keep your cosplay in tip-top shape. Pack it up. You might luck out with, nowadays there's amazing people who are cosplay medics, and they're going around conventions helping repair, people's cosplays when there's like an emergency, but you can't always rely on that. So you want to have a backup plan. And also, check your room twice over and repack all that you came with. I just recently came from Dragon Con and I left my computer monitor there. So I had to drive my ass back on the way back to pick it up. So always, check under the bed, make sure nothing rolled under it in the store. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, food. Scout the food options. Google map that shit. Because you may go to a con. You might go to this con. You might not buy a single piece of merchandise. You might not cosplay. But you're going to eat. I know you're going to have to eat. And you want to know what your options are. So, example, you're at Katsucon. That means you're at the Gaylord Convention Center. They have a few restaurants in there, like the National Pastime Sports Bar Grill. That's downstairs in the lower level. That's in the building. There's some outside, like the Cadillac Ranch or Brother Jimmy's Barbecue. But you might not want a sit-down restaurant, or your budget might not permit that option. So in this case, you might want to know what you have available. A little further down, there's a Subway. If you have a car, you can drive over to the McDonald's, or a lot of people order pizza at Katsucon. So point being, when you go to a con, take a few minutes, go to Google Map, check what you have. And also, if your travel accommodations permit it, you can always bring your own stuff and leave it in the hotel room. We do that. We do that all the time when we're driving. We'll bring snacks, bottles of water, booze. We tend to bring it ourselves, but again, this is usually an option if you're like driving down in the store. Obviously not always. You're not gonna be able to pack all that stuff in an airplane. I mean, you might, but it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. But now, tip number 3. Speaking of budgets, oh my God, please do so. Cons can empty out your bank account real fucking fast. And I know you may really want that Nezuko wall scroll. I know you might want that Goku figure. And I know you're thinking that katana, that one katana, Rengoku's katana, is gonna be the legit centerpiece of my collection. But you can't eat those things. I mean, you probably could, but it's not going to be healthy for you. And before you spend your hard-earned bucks at the dealer's room, and now you're looking at your recently purchased Genshin Impact figure, and you're wondering, shit, is this edible? Make sure you got your expenses covered, okay? You know, whether that be part of the room cost, money you set aside to eat with friends at a restaurant a night. Try to always keep in mind your expenses. I'm not saying don't go crazy spending money. Just make sure you actually have money to spend. So that's tip number 3. Now, tip number 4, cosplay. You've heard the phrase many a time. Cosplay is not consent. Seriously, do not be that fucking creep. Don't. I don't care if you have only emerged from your basement this weekend. You still have to act like a decent human being. You've gotta. Okay? If you want a picture of a cosplayer or a video, go up to them and ask them, hey, can I get a picture with you? Or hey, can I get a picture of you? You know, most of the time they'll be ecstatic and say yeah. And if they say no, that's fine. Don't be an asshole. Move on. Go away. They might be doing something. And especially if you see them chomping down on food, probably not a good idea to go ask them for a picture, because they probably need a break. So, you know, take that into consideration. Don't be an asswipe. The next part of this tip goes to the cosplayers though. Also, don't be an asshole. Yes, you may have put a lot of time and effort in your massive giga cosplay that takes up a lot of space, but that doesn't give you the excuse to be a dick. If you are not in the mood for a photo, politely decline. There is no need for rudeness. And trust me, I have seen cosplayers who are very, very rude. So on either end, the tip number 4, just be a decent person. Don't be a dick. Number 5, tip number 5. And it goes right into the cosplay thing. So I put it next to this one. Cosplay props. I love them. I love seeing cosplayers do amazing, you know, little things. There was an incredible Beauregard from Critical Role at Dragon Con, and she made a portable bar that she brought with her. I love that kind of stuff. I love it. But you got to be careful with your props, particularly firearms. Let's face it, times are fucking crazy. Please check your con's weapon policies, and also check what city your convention is gonna be in. Some are more lax than others. But for example, if you go to New York Comic Con or Anime NYC, don't bring a realistic looking firearm. Leave it at home. I don't give a damn if it's part of the character's cosplay. Leave it at home. Okay? The con won't like it. The people outside the con won't like it. And I can tell you, the NYPD is not going to like it, which means you're not going to like it. Leave the fucking prop at home, okay? Also, be careful with your props. I cannot tell you how many jackasses I have seen swinging their props around like a lightsaber or a scythe or whatnot and whacking somebody with it. You will always hear one of my biggest tips in life, just in general, is spatial awareness. That goes for photographers too. Please look around the area of your cosplayer that you're photographing or recording, and take into consideration if you're asking them to give you a battle pose or the sort. And also, don't block the fucking walkways. Move to the side, because you know what's going to be more irritating than you not getting that perfect picture? Me, because I want to walk and you're blocking my ass. So spatial awareness, very big. Number 6, try a little bit of everything. Try a little bit of everything, especially if it is your first convention. I love LARPing. I never knew it would be something that I adore until my first time doing it at KatsuCon back in 2005. I now have LARPed for over 10 years. No, more than that. Yeah, over 10 years, to the point that people know I usually go to KatsuCon for the LARP. The point being, try a little bit of everything. Check out the Masquerade, where people put on skits. costume contest, go to a gaming room, check out a panel. You'll never know what might pique your interest, and the next time you go to a con, you might want to focus on that activity, and you never know who you might meet. I met some at 2003 Big Apple Anime Fest. I met some great friends at the tabletop room and at the dance. And at the time, I wasn't really very, like, I like to dance, but I wasn't very confident dancing in front of people who I didn't know, like that were strangers. Like at a wedding, yeah, but strangers. So, take that into consideration. Take a little sample of everything. That's what I'm saying. That's tip number 6. Try a little bit of everything. You might not know what you might find a new beloved interest, or you might meet new friends there. Number 7, and I cannot believe I have to say this. It don't mean to sound cruel, but please attend to your hygiene regularly, aka shower. You are going to be around dozens, hundreds, thousands, possibly tens of thousands of other con goers. Take into consideration that your aroma might not be as pleasant for everyone. And also, a little bit on the other end of the spectrum, please do not douse yourself in fucking strong smelling cologne or perfumes either. You are going to be more than likely in an enclosed space with other people. It can irritate their allergies, and you're going to be ruining someone's day because you want to fucking smell like you drank a bottle of Versace. So just attend to your personal hygiene, okay? At least while you're at the con. Just give me that while you're at the con. And my last tip, and what I think is the most important fucking tip, number 8, and I really gotta fucking stress this. Holy fuck. Please stay safe. Please. I have met amazing people at conventions. I met my wife at a con 15 years ago. I have met close friends that I go to cons with on a regular basis and that I chat with every day, both who live near me, very close to me, just 10 minutes away, or, long distance. That does not mean that everyone who is at a con has your best interest in mind. Please be careful. Shady shit can and does happen at conventions, okay? If you are partaking of alcohol, please know your limit. Also, please monitor your drink. Do not take a drink from a random stranger. Travel in a group if you can, okay? Realize there are some thirsty, creepy motherfuckers out there on all sides of things, okay? So just stay safe, especially if it's your first time going to a con. Maybe avoid some of the more kind of things like the giant dances, or hang out with a group, the after parties. Just be careful, please, okay? That's my number 1 tip, is I want you to have a great time and to keep going to conventions, but staying safe at them, all right? So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this type of video, if you want this type of content and would like to see more of it, as always, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, lets it grow. Drop a like, post a comment. I'll answer every one of them. And as always, please take care of yourselves and stay safe.